everybody. Thank you for joining us on this month's CMA chat, where we're going to be talking about all things LinkedIn. And we have three other panelists who are specialists and who will come talk to us about their shared secrets and how they're using it internally, because, we all know sharing is caring. So before we introduce them officially, I'd like to say a couple of housekeeping rules and things. A big thank you to the ERP and CRM software blog, as well as the partner marketing group for one, organizing, and two, keeping our lights on here. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, or you can be crazy and come off mute. They will be monitoring the chat for you. Me looking at a chat and animating two things at once are sometimes hard. So if I don't get to your question, they will chime in and put me in my place. So please ask questions. That's really what this group and community are all about. So we all know LinkedIn ads can be powerful, but what comes with great power comes great responsibility and getting all those things set up. So we are going to be talking about how they run successful campaigns, what's working, what's not, and a practical, because we're all about that as well, an honest look on how to get better results on LinkedIn. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our three panelists, Susan, Travis, and David. Thank you for being here today. Susan, why don't you kick us off and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, Suzanne Scanlan with ArcherPoint by Cherry Beckert. I'm the director of marketing here and excited to share what I know. I've been in the Microsoft channel for most of my career, which is a very long time. And just happy to share and learn from this great community.
Thank you. And we are happy to have you here because I've learned a lot from you over the years. So I am glad to learn a little more today. Travis, how about you?
Hi, I'm Travis South. I'm the director of marketing at New Dynamic. We're a Microsoft partner and CRM Power Platform Specialist, based out of Kansas City. I've been in this space for about 2 years, but then doing marketing for, let's go back to the old hat conversation. I think I've actually got my 20-year mark coming up, so been doing marketing for quite a while.
So you're like me. We started when we were 15 years old, and
Exactly. It's
yeah,
exactly what
yeah,
happened.
child labor laws did not exist yet. So I your secret is safe with me and the internet. David, last but definitely not least, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Dave Cacioppo. I'm with Emfluence. So we are two businesses rolled into one. So we are a SaaS platform for marketing automation. So think of us in the Microsoft space as a competitor to Customer Insights, an alternative for that for those who it's not the right application for. And we're also a full service digital marketing agency. So I've got a couple of years on Anya, Tanya, and Travis, and then we started doing this in '99. We like to say we've been doing digital since dial-up, if that helps date you a little bit there. So very
Uh,
happy to be here.
Someone had their phone ring with the dial-up sound. I was like, oh, I haven't heard that in a minute. So
Uh-huh.
no, that definitely takes me back. So thank you for being here and thank you for sharing your expertise with us. We know LinkedIn is forever changing their algorithm for better or for worse or for, drives us to drink. So I think that's why we are all here today to hear more about it. So Suzanne, I'm gonna kick it off with you. How do you determine which campaigns are right for LinkedIn and LinkedIn ads in general?
Yeah, so this is something we've struggled with. We've dabbled in LinkedIn advertising over the years. Dabbling is not the way to have success with LinkedIn advertising. You
Mm.
just like any other digital platform, for ads, you need to kind of go all in. You need to figure out what your strategy is. Um, what we decided to do this year, because LinkedIn is probably the most expensive ad platform that I have experience with. Um, and it can get a little unruly, which we'll cover in future questions. But we've decided to augment our ABM advertising by supporting those campaigns. So we have the ability to push those segments. So companies that are in campaigns on our ABM platform, we are pushing those segments into LinkedIn and advertising to them so that we're hitting them on another channel.
Oh, that's good to better understand how you're using them too. And I think we all have dabbled at one point, and that's a good lesson learned that you're sharing is that, you have to be invested or you can't just go half into to LinkedIn because it is a beast of a platform and the nuances behind it. What about you, Travis? Tell us all about your LinkedIn experience.
Sure. So we've done mostly in the past kind of the brand awareness and engagement ads just to gain some followers and get that traction on it. Simple things like promoting our blogs and getting people to engage with us on LinkedIn, not so much focused on the idea around like a full-on conversion ad, but just helping our company grow. For Q1, at least this year, we kind of took a break from LinkedIn ads and put into LinkedIn Premium so that we could get more out of the platform itself. And then going forward for this year, looking at Q2, we're looking into doing a industry-based ad around some of our success stories that we've had and getting those things targeted for us. So lots of different knobs and levers to pull and kind of changing as the algorithm changes how we're approaching it.
No, I think that's so important to stay on top of it because yes, they keep definitely keep us on your toes. And I think that's also a good segue into our next question, which is Dave, what are some of the best ads that have worked for you? Where do you see the most bang for your buck? Let's call it that way.
Yeah, it's gonna for us, it's gonna depend on sort of what signals you already have from somebody. If you have no signals, if you have nothing to indicate any kind of interest from someone, video is going to be your strongest content. It's going to be most likely to stop a scroll, and that's what you want. And so then you're picking up that signal and you're saying, okay, well, to what extent did they watch video? 25%, 50%, whatever it is, and you leverage those. And so you can also stop a scroll with some really strong visuals, but it's harder. So we'd lean a little bit towards video for that. But once you start to get the signals that there's some sort of engagement, whether it's the scroll stop or whether you can get click activity, single image ads tend to be the way that we would direct clients. And you're looking
Stop this
for
scroll.
stop that scroll. I
Stop
mean,
that scroll.
yes,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
totally, that crossed my mind. I'm like, okay, you have gotten the quote of the day in the first 5 minutes of this call. Stop that scroll.
Okay. Yes.
But I think that is a great visual for everyone out there too, to be like, okay, like that is especially on LinkedIn where we usually look, or I look at it at the end of the day when I'm already tired. So you want to get them to stop and read and be interested. So
Yeah, I've
stop
I've
that
seen that on
scroll.
ours as well. Like, I get about a 17% engagement rate on our single image ads, but even doing a carousel takes it up to about a 32% engagement rate. So like pretty much double giving them something to do besides scroll past you. So let them scroll side by side and keep them engaged.
Well, well, I think that's good too, because I know some people are still scared of doing the video, so at least knowing that that carousel is like it's static, it might be like your gateway to video and stopping that scroll. What about you, Suzanne? What have you seen work well? Because you maybe
Yeah,
look at
based
it in
on
a
our
different way.
yeah, based on our audience, we've had some good success with single image ads, but again, we're already targeting people that we've been targeting and that are in market already. So we've had some good success there. It's also the most budget friendly. So as we are still getting our feet wet, in my opinion, with LinkedIn advertising, as we gain more insights and experience with the platform, we'll probably do some expansion there, but love hearing what everybody else is doing as well. Love the
Um,
stop the scroll. Because yes,
Stop the
video does
scroll.
do that. Think about
Uh,
how we use it, and definitely
Dave, I want a t-shirt when you make it. Like, stop
Yeah,
the scroll.
you
same.
got it.
Yeah. I think the budget is a next good segue. And like, how much money do we need to invest in LinkedIn? We all know that it's expensive and not to dabble. But if you don't mind opening your kimono a little bit and sharing with the rest of the friends on the call, how much is approximately your average monthly spend or per campaign? If we all love a ballpark. So, Suzanne, do you mind sharing with us?
Yeah, per campaign, we're spending around 2,500 to 5,000. So it depends on the audience size and how long we're running it. And again, we're still trying to make sure that we're good stewards of our budget, and we are seeing some, we're investing enough to get those conversions, those eyeballs on our ads, right? To make the best choice with where to continue to invest our budget. But right now, that's where we're kind of starting. And again, depends on the audience size. We try to keep them kind of small and targeted. So, yeah, that's about what we're doing per campaign per
Oh
month.
no, but I think that's a good benchmark for everyone that if you don't have that money, take it and do something else with it because that's really your benchmark starting point. And what about you, Dave? What have you seen, and what do you do internally?
Yeah, so we do this a lot for clients as well. So
Mm.
I think that the number one challenge for smaller clients is underspend. And so 5K a month is kind of a floor for us. If you're not spending that, just don't spend. I mean, it's unlikely that you're going to see any kind of meaningful results. So, at that 5K level, you can actually start to get some data. If you go kind of expand it into bigger buckets and you say, well, 5 to 20K, you can get some far more meaningful results to actually make decisions on and to let the algorithm do its magic, right? It needs data to learn. And then, if you're 20K and up per month, now you can really do the kind of testing and things that would help optimize it and give you more confidence to continue to spend because we've had there's instances of folks going in and saying, okay, I'm going to go in heavy with this, maybe 10K or something a month, and then just bailing after 2 months. I'm like, well, that you haven't learned. You haven't given it an opportunity to learn, and getting a home run right out of the gate is not realistic. It's not a realistic expectation. So again, underspending, just don't spend it all. I would say find a different place to allocate your budget. And we typically don't lead with LinkedIn, right? It's an also channel. And I think Suzanne earlier mentioned they do it to augment ABM campaigns. That's an excellent use case, right? You already have a series of tactics and channels and strategy targeting a very defined customer profile, right? And that is one of the strengths of LinkedIn is that you can get to that customer profile. And it is really a standout in terms of the other channels where we typically would spend reasonable budget with clients, which would be the Meta properties and Google. It's got the advantage there, but as Suzanne said, it's expensive.
No, and I think if you know that going in, and that comes back to the triangle, do you want to do it fast? Do you want to do it cheaper? Do you want to do it right? And all
Yes.
of that jazz. So yeah, it comes with the balance of it's expensive, but if it works, but not just from a budget standpoint, but to Suzanne's point earlier as well, from a time investment, like you have to be all in to learn the platform and to do those tweaks and stuff like that. And I think that's good to know as someone who's in a smaller company, like I'm like, oh, let's do this. But I think that's a good, like, nice try and make better luck next time, or save your pennies and look at how you can do it in a future time period. So I think that is great for everyone on the call. If anyone else has experiences, please come off mute, or if you have seen something else, please put it in the chat. We are all ears to hear how others in the channel are doing it. If you've seen something similar or different, by all means, we can come ask the experts as well. So that is my plea to get you guys off mute and to share in this conversation. So we are also going to take our first commercial break. I want to say thank you to our patron sponsors, Doug, MSCW, Marketary, UMSI, Vicinity, UST Pay, and Partner Talks for their continued support. Thank you for keeping these sessions free, keeping our lights on, and for anyone who would be interested in sponsoring or becoming a patron sponsor in the future, I'm sure Anya or Michelle are going to put it in the chat for you. It's not expensive. It's just, it's like coming to a session for free. Like it's really not that bad. I'm going to stop begging now because it's not a good look for me. So thank you again to all of our sponsors, and please, sharing's scary. And in other big news, the three of us, Anya, Michelle, and I, we have going to be doing a session live at Directions North America. So please come support. You will see my legs, which I don't think anyone has seen because we've only ever done it on a digital medium before. So come join us. We're on the first day right after the keynote, so you guys will have no exclusives. You'll still be fresh as daisies and motivated to come to our session. We promise we will leave it as fun and interactive as these sessions are. And, it'll be all about facts or fictions, what you should and shouldn't know currently in marketing. We will be looking back at previous sessions that we've done, and we will look for some interaction. So I'm going to ask you to come off mute live as well. So I'm warning you all now. So now back to our regular scheduled program. We talked a little bit about algorithms and learning that. What has worked well for you, maybe what hasn't? Dave, why don't you kick us off on how do you manage your current algorithms with LinkedIn?
Yeah, so kind of taking a look at the metrics that we focus on, the default for a lot of folks is the specific engagement metrics. How many clicks are we getting? And that's not what's really important with LinkedIn. It's who, right? It's who is clicking specifically, because if you let things just go on their own, the algorithm is going to try and optimize for the highest number of clicks or something like that. And that may not be what you really want, right? You don't want the highest number of clicks. You want the right people clicking. And so it's something that you have to monitor and make sure that it is delivering its magic in a format that is truly magical for you and not just for it.
I don't know. And that comes back to taking the time and investing and looking at your data, not setting it and forgetting it, because I imagine some people have done that and then get a scary bill at the end of the month or at the end of a campaign and then have
Yeah.
nothing to show for it. So,
Yeah, I think another thought here too for folks to keep in mind is you need to be careful about making sure you're excluding the people who need to be excluded, right? So as you learn over time what isn't good traffic for you, and some stuff you just know inherently before you start to deploy a campaign. I do not want these people, right? Do not want competitors, right? Things like that. Having those exclusions there is going to enhance your results every single time.
Preach. I am a big fan of exclusions. I think as marketers, we are inherently scared to exclude people from things. We're like, no, the more the merrier. But no, the more
Not true.
focused we can be, yeah, not true, people, not true. I am the first person to be a big believer in if you see a quick bounce rate, learn why and get them out. Like you kick those people to the curb so you can really spend your dollars more efficiently. Yes, highlight. I don't know, how do we timestamp this? But I think that is great for everyone who is doing things is the exclusion button. And I know it's hard at first, but it's like when you have the unsubscribe list, you just need to, accept, breathe, and move on. Travis, what about you? What are some tips that you have seen for managing the current algorithms?
I think Dave's got a good point. Just as important who you exclude as who you include. So we've certainly been looking at that beyond just that impression and reach and follower growth. I've been tracking a lot of page views and visitors, and also seeing an uptake when we do a LinkedIn ad of traffic on our website from those ads. So even if they're not doing necessarily the action that we wanted them to, they are exploring further and going down the road, and we get more form fill outs on our website, even though it is 5 steps down the road from that LinkedIn campaign. So it's nice to see that. Going into the demographics, we certainly filter it around like job functions, industry, seniority. And then I do a lot of work with kind of comparing it to what we did organically that month and then translating that into how far does this go down the road. So like doing demographics, for example, like we had on one of our ads over 1,000% more contact with salespeople than we did on just our regular page follows. Same thing with like managers, setting that level of was it job seniority, over 1,000% more managers than we did on our page visits by excluding those entry level positions so that the ads get targeted at the right person. And then going with the ideas around like the reach and the follower growth, it was, you know, 700% more than we normally got organically, which translates into 10, 9, 6 months worth of interactions from that one ad. So being able to translate what we're doing into both percentages and a time frame, instead of just saying, hey, we got 10,000 clicks, it's, oh, we've got 10 months worth of activity off of this one spin, and putting it in those different parameters. And it was a stronger audience with that. So all those things stacked together, I think, tell a really strong story of what comes out of even just a simple awareness campaign ad, even though it's not tracked like right back to a straight ROI form fill out. We're getting our name out there to the right audience so people know who we are and see that trickle down across the whole board.
I I think that I'm gonna highlight the okay, you're talking about 6, 8, 10 months of activity that follow and stuff. We're all in an industry where the sales cycles are long and we have to be patient. Some people have less patience than others when we speak about marketing, but I think that's a good benchmark as well of okay, like this isn't a one and done, like don't put up one ad and expect a form fill right away. So I think that is a great mindset to have and would love to hear more about your filling out the form. Like, how did you get, like, it's so tricky nowadays to get people to want to
I
speak to a
wasn't trying
human.
to. I wish I could
Uh,
take credit for it, but like that was the end result. It was
Accidental win.
accidentally no, but I can trace it back. Like, okay, hold on.
yeah.
By setting up the LinkedIn parameters and connecting that to the website, it's okay, we never heard of this guy before. We haven't targeted him in any campaigns. Going back through the company reports on LinkedIn of, oh, somebody from this company did see this ad at the same time this form came in, and connecting those dots that systems mostly can't do, but having that my hand in all those different areas lets me see, oh, when we do this, this happens over here, even though it's not the metric we were going for, or at least the keyword we were
Well,
trying to target. So just
more
keeping the
more
eyes open
power
and
to you.
watching what comes through.
Yeah, and I think that's it is we we kind of look at straight attribution really quickly with something that like, oh, it's a form fill on the website. They've had to have come from like Google, but no, we have to take it a step back and connect those dots together. So all of you out there, like take the time to do your homework and look at what has been done in the past. So you've been doing this, Travis, you said for 6, 8, 10 months. What have you seen change in the last, let's say, half a year, or what hasn't? And what do you think people should be aware of, or gotchas, or what have you learned?
I think we've already talked on some of it. Just the targeting is becoming much more available for us. Like that first party data, whether it be your CRM list or a retargeting, is going to beat a third party kind of spray and pray, maybe an interest or a demographic. We've been chasing intent for a while, but now we're kind of reevaluating and going down the different road of letting them show us their intent so that we
Mm.
can engage with them. There's a lot. I don't know. This might be a good topic for kind of the group of like, I'm not a big fan of the AI audience accelerator on LinkedIn ads. I like to go in and get my hands dirty and build in the classic version and kind of do it myself and have a lot of fun with targeting skills, groups, company revenue, those kind of things, and really, again, like we talked about, narrowing things down to that ideal audience. I think they talk about LinkedIn having, your ad size being between 50 and 500,000. And as much as I would like to hit 5 million people, the ad only engages with maybe 15, 20% of your reach audience. So if you're putting out to that 5 million, instead of that 50,000, you're hitting a lot of people who you don't want to hit and getting those engagement metrics back. But again, taking everything down, keeping up with the frequency and letting those people see your ad multiple times, as opposed to hitting more people once that don't matter, is a real big change as these things grow, is getting that audience where it needs to be.
No, I think we've had our message for today is be specific. And it's marketing 101, but we forget it so quickly, like to, especially when we have the ability to just check a box and let it ride, to be specific on our target market. And the beauty of LinkedIn is that it can be uber targeted and super specific if you have, if you know who you're chasing after. And what about you, Dave? What have you seen change or not change in the last 6 months?
Yeah, I think the key here is not change.
Mm.
There's has not been a ton of movement, right? There's some improvements to creative tools and AI tools for headline suggestions and things like that that are nice, but it's still, in our opinion, significantly behind the other channels. There's just better tools in other channels to do more things with AI specifically. The retargeting and audience segmenting is better. Um, but we think there's some catch-up work that needs to be done on LinkedIn's part to really make it competitive beyond where it excels. We know where it excels. We can identify specific audiences, and that part is strong, but there's more work to be done, I think. And I
That's
think
good.
intent signals are not what we hoped they would be. And I think that's not just true for LinkedIn. I think you had quite a few people selling the concept of intent signals, and again, maybe faint is the word, faint signals. I don't know how to describe
Whispers.
that, but the premise sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can find you people that are actually that these are people looking right now, but the reality, it has not panned out to the level that I think everybody hopes it would.
Who was that marketer who wrote that copy and sent that email out? Shame on them.
That's right.
Um, but I think that's good to know too, because as someone who doesn't do ads and just like peruses the feed, and then after all this time, like I see like, oh, why am I only seeing this from 3 weeks ago? So we think there are big changes that have happened in LinkedIn. We're just not aware of everything that goes on the back end of things. So um moving on, we talked a lot about budget and how much and lessons learned. If others are considering using LinkedIn ads, what's one thing that worked that you would strongly recommend other than hyper targeting, or didn't work and you're like, please don't make the same mistake as me? What are some things that you can share with the group? Suzanne, let's start with you.
Yeah, this goes back to what David and Travis have already been talking about, and that's, creating audiences directly in the LinkedIn platform did not effectively target the right audience for us. And LinkedIn's like expansion, right? If your audience is not large enough, which is what we found in certain segments that we were pushing from ABM, right? Because we wanted to just go bottom of funnel, but and support the bottom of funnel segments
Mm.
within our and that just didn't work. We had to expand it because it wasn't large enough, right? Because we were doing it industry specific, and so we're talking, different ad campaigns, and so unless we grouped them all together, it really wasn't a large enough audience. So, um, you know, creating those audiences directly in the platform didn't work. Pushing our initial attended BOFU segments
Mm.
also didn't work because it wasn't large enough, and we were segmenting too much, right? So, and it can be very tricky. There's a lot of levers you can pull and a lot of different things that you can select, and it's still right. If you don't hit the minimum audience size, LinkedIn will, whether you tell it to or not, will expand that audience for you. So we had some issues with that to start with. So importing our custom list did help address the issue, but we still so we expanded our segments that we're pushing into LinkedIn. But we still had to go in and do our exclusions, right? So layering in those exclusions within LinkedIn to properly refine our targeting, because I'd rather target to the right, a smaller, correct audience, right? Versus, you know, as we used to say, spray and praying. So that's I think that one of the biggest things for us, and at least to date, right? That was definitely a struggle and one that we had to figure out. And also, I think it was back to David's, or maybe it was Travis's point, um, getting familiar with doing all the training in the platform before you start, because there's a lot of little gotchas. Um, it's really a cumbersome tool. I don't even touch it anymore. I have, my coworker Sophie does all of that, and so she's familiar with it because it's just drastically different from other similar types of advertising platforms. And LinkedIn kept pushing us to set up our business manager account. And honestly, now I have trouble even navigating to the proper the proper place to actually access our ads. So it's just that it seems like it's very layered. So please go do some training. Do not just LinkedIn Learning, but also, go to YouTube, go find some other good training programs to at least get familiar with the platform and how to best set it up for your use case.
No, I think those are good warning messages for others because we're like, okay, well, I'll just create an exclusion list and make sure I have 5K and let's go. No, the investment of time from the people who are learning it, we probably assume it's easy, but we will outsource our Google Ads to someone who knows what they're talking about. I think we should do the same with LinkedIn, even though it may seem easier, but the gotchas can be very expensive and good to know for everyone out there. Travis, what about you? What are some lessons learned, good, bad? What has worked for you?
Sure. Sourcing to ads too. All right. So one of the ones I like to do is I was making sure that you're running multiple ads within the same campaign. Doesn't cost you anything extra, and you can do about 3 to 5 ads, even if they're repeating the same ad. Not necessarily my recommendation, but if you're not feeling inspired when you're making that ad, but just tweaking that message and letting the algorithm kind of do its work. It's already on one budget, and then you might be surprised by what ad performs better than the other, and letting it, raise that ad and get in front of more people and lower the one that's not performing as well. Something I've come to find with LinkedIn is they're actually very supportive of your efforts on LinkedIn. Like they want you to be successful and they offer you credits all the time. They offer you consulting all the time with their um, consultants. And like they are very helpful and not salesy pushy at all. They want you to succeed so that you will spend more money with them. Obviously, that's why they provide the service, but they're not trying to get you to spend money just to spend money. They walk you through a lot of different things on whether it be campaign setup or even doing a postmortem on it of, hey, how did this work? Why didn't this work? What can you do better next time? One of the tips I got from them is probably you're going to have better return or lower cost per click if you do something in Q1 and Q3 because everyone's out during Q2 and Q4 trying to get those end of year or end of quarter books met. So you can not necessarily double your efforts, but get a lot more out of that spend. And that's something again, I learned from them that I wouldn't have thought of when am I going to place my ad, what's going to work best, and how can I work around these things? Because I'm just running a pretty simple ad trying to do some demand creation and influence and get the ROI off of that. And yeah, the month I choose to do those can make a big difference, which I wouldn't necessarily have thought of had I not gone through theirs. Like, yeah, I'm not going to do it in December, certainly, but all those factors play in of making the most of the tool that's in front of you. And if they're going to look at it for free and tell me how to do it better, why not?
I don't know. I am all about like I'll take whatever help I can get, and I love me a retro. I think that's a good case too because sometimes we don't know where to start or we wouldn't know what questions to ask. But if we have a why didn't this work or how can we optimize this in the future, I think that's a lot more clear cut for someone who doesn't know our business on the regular and stuff. And we all know seasonality, but I don't think we take it to maybe that level of the volume that they see. So
Yeah.
I think everyone go call up your rep and see how it goes, and you can come back
Take the
and share
help
it.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, to Suzanne's point, the training is really important here. I think that all of these channels, or all the digital channels, have made it really, really, really easy to do a bad job. Right. I mean, you can blow money in a heartbeat because you can get in, anybody can get in and point and click their way to a campaign and start spending money. And you can really quickly find that, yeah, that was not a good idea. So it takes some discipline to stop and learn and figure out what the pitfalls are before you ever start, because it can go bad fast. And I'd say that, in terms of other things that don't work, in general, in mail fail. It's an uninvited solicitation into an inbox that people like to keep protected. There's already, in our opinion, there's already a strong mechanism for connecting, and that is through the connections that you already have in common with somebody. And if you're targeting an industry that you've been in for a while, you've probably got the connections. You just need to look a little bit. So we have not had great success with InMail as part of the features.
that's good to know. And like I think we have to look at ourselves. Do we like getting an email of like, hey, no, I don't think anyone really can say that those are fun or that you like, oh yeah, I was really doing this today. That was on my thing. And then like, yeah, poke me two more times and see if it changes.
Right.
But I think like the good do unto you. I think that's a good litmus test as well to remember because in mail too, it seems like a great way to cold call into people. But I think that test and marketing 101, go back and see if it really works is a great point. And we have a question that came in. Do you have suggestions on who to outsource your LinkedIn ads to? Who would you recommend, Dave? No shameless plugs needed here.
Hmm. I like this group called Emfluence. They have a really
Yeah,
strong digital agency services team. So,
yeah.
yeah, we do obviously our own, and for a fair number of clients as well. So, lots of
Yeah.
experience.
Oh, that's good. And I think like that's what people should look for as well, like is find out how other people have done it in their industry. What have you seen? The good parts of working with an agency is that they have probably worked with other people similar to you in the past. So you start maybe a step or two ahead. Not that you've tried things on other people and I'm going to benefit from them because that's not what you do. But we just get the power of the group thing going on
Yeah.
here. So, but yeah, I think that is a good way to start if you do not have the time to invest in learning all that stuff yourself. So. Um, I always like looking into a crystal ball at the end of everything, looking at trends. Where do we think things going? Where does your spidey sense say Thank you for bringing up AI because it would have been an entire hour that we did not say those two letters within the IT world, and I would have probably lost my job. So thank you for that. But Dave, what does your crystal ball say for future trends and what will come for LinkedIn ads?
I think that the ease of selling the concept of intent data is going to drive more investment in actually coming up with better intent data. So I think that anybody who's stating that they can provide intent data now has got to be actively pursuing that product getting considerably better than it is. It's as we all kind of acknowledge, man, that sounds awesome. It really does sound awesome, but it's not yet awesome. It's okay, thanks, but please make it awesome. I think that the real strength here is taking some of that intent data and combining with whatever first party data you've got. And so that's connecting to your CRM, right, which is near and dear to all of our hearts, I think, here. And anybody that's listening in here is, what can you do with the combined data sets, and how can you leverage that to create more buyers?
I think we have to stop being shoeless shoemen and women and start using our data more effectively. And what about you, Travis? What does your crystal ball say?
I'm doing a lot of work personally around influence instead of attribution. Kind of we've talked about before, I think, in this environment, at least, about kind of the dark funnel that is some of these things like LinkedIn, but still adding the value of that brand lift, of those multi-touch campaigns, of the pipeline impact that comes from doing things like this. I know we've got questions in the chat going on about Sales Navigator. That's something we're looking into, of maybe bringing back now that we're got a LinkedIn strategy around the ads of, okay, can that bring over some of the traffic and better give credit to marketing for the work they're doing on LinkedIn that ends up in the pipeline that isn't that first touch, last touch attribution level, but helped push things down the road as those touches grow more and more. Also, we talked about AI, so I'll do my bit on that as well. There's just a big craving out there for more of the organic messaging as opposed to the highly polished generic ad copy. So just kind of being real and honest about it. And then as AI is now, I think the second most cited source, excuse me, LinkedIn is the most second cited source. There it is, with AI, and getting that ball rolling. The content that we put out there is going to be increasingly important for us, whether it be through an ad or just through our regular posting, so that we can get kind of beyond the platform feeds and shape how everyone's seeing and thinking about us and get that visibility and credibility up, so that when we do have an ad targeted at the right people at the right time, they may already know who we are because we've planted that foot and that seed and grown that audience as time goes on.
Love that visual of a dark funnel. I think we all know
Oh,
the other funnel, the bright
don't
and
give me credit.
shiny.
I stole that.
I was like, well, you'll get it today. But I think that whole under like building our brands is becoming so much more important in this new AEO world. So I think from that standpoint, how they all work together is going to become even more important. So uh, I'm working my way backward through the chat now. So does anyone else have anything to say about Sales Navigator? Travis, you touched upon it briefly. Have either of you dabbled, or your sales team have dabbled in it? Or someone who's on the chat who wants to, chime in.
Our sales team did in the past, and then they got rid of it. And so I've brought it back up as an option for sequences within Dynamics and working through those for the sales team, as well as getting not the attribution, but that influence tracking of, hey, this person did like this post, they did comment, and we're kind of exploring that right now. So, same question out to the group. I'd love to hear if someone's out there using it and has had success with it, as that's something we're exploring ourselves.
So
Well,
speaking from our team's use, we currently have licenses we're likely not to renew It's been for the sales team a strong research tool, right? So pre-call, we're going to go in and find out who influencers are and things like that, and some of that is pretty great. But we are finding that we're getting the same kind of value out of just straight AI tools. You can query the same kind of information and a lot of times get a much richer data set back, which is almost hard to believe, but um, the value added layer of the intelligence that comes back with your from your query over who is this person is incredible. So right now like I said, we're gonna let it lapse and we're gonna go without it for a while and see how that works out for us. And we're not we did find value. We do find value in it, but right now we're gonna try something different for a bit.
No, I think that's part of marketing too, is test something else, see what, no harm in hitting the pause button for a little bit as well. Someone else is the LinkedIn Premium company worth the investment? Has anyone dabbled in that?
I'd say yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we did this year was, like I said at the beginning of the call, like instead of doing an ad, we put that money into LinkedIn Premium, and we've gotten some success with it. The auto invites have helped our follower growth, and then we're just getting a little bit more data off of it, and so it was a good spin for us.
And approximately how much time did you have it on, or do you still have it on, or is it
And we've
really?
only been doing it literally this year, so it's been on 4 months. So
Oh, that's cool. Like to see it that quickly. And Anya also says that the auto invites help with her follower growth. So what is your objective and what are you looking for? I think that could be a good start there. So if there's no more questions, we are going to say thank you very much for your time today. Um, if you haven't already signed up for our April chat, I think it is May. Sorry, I can't believe it's already going to be May. If you haven't already signed up for your May chat, we're going to be talking about budgets that are shrinking and what we can do about it. So I think that's a good segue from talking about LinkedIn budgets and how we can squeak that in, or making those tough decisions later on. So, especially with what's going on, I think everyone, it's definitely top of mind. So, if you haven't already, please sign up. And if you've missed a session, good or bad excuse, it's okay. I won't cry myself to sleep at night, but you can always visit our website and sign up for to watch some of the old episodes. And sometimes it's good just to get a little refresher in there. So or if you have any teammates that you think would be interested in this, please, sharing is caring. So please share it internally as well. That would help us out a lot. If you want to be a panelist, have any comments, emotional outbursts that you want to share with us, please, by all means, we are here for all of it. Hopefully, I will see you all at Directions North America. And there's also a marketing day happening beforehand. So please, if you want to continue to learn about these kinds of things, sign up there. There's also Dynamics Con that's coming. Please reach out to Anya if you are looking to join that marketing day as well. She might be able to get you an easier time to get into that outfit thing event. Anya, I don't know if I'm saying too much or not enough. This is being recorded, so reach out to Anya and she will be sure to follow up with you guys as well. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you to our panelists. It's always fun to hear what you have to say. And you know where to find them on LinkedIn, if anything. We put them in the chat earlier. So thanks again. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.